Hello my friends, and welcome back to the show that never ends. My name is Rod. Hope you're doing well. I'm your happy hippie, and I am very happy tonight. I worked a long day. It was a 9-hour day at the antique shop to kick off the the spring festival. And in the background, I don't know if you can hear it, we got the new Colony 6 playing. Lucky there's no album in there, right? Anyway, that's playing in the background. I picked that up yesterday along with Meet the Beatles, Jethro Tull, Never Too Old to Rock and Roll for a really, really good price. And today was a wonderful day. Got a huge box of albums. Some really great stuff. This one I'm keeping, man. This is a cool kind of pop psych album, the new Colony 6. Anyway, today's haul. First out of the box, the Grateful Dead, In the Dark. Okay, this is, without an argument, their most commercial album they ever did. Has Touch of Grey, Hell in the Bucket, Throwing Stones, West LA Freeway, but it is a fantastic album from the Dead. I've got it on CD, I've got it on album, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to the shop. But then I remembered somebody out there in the VC who said they had no Dead in their collection. And being true to the spirit of Jerry Garcia, I'm going to share it with them. So I've got that earmarked for somebody. Also in that lot of music I picked up in the box, Billion Dollar Babies, Alice Cooper. Really cool album by Alice Cooper. Billion Dollar Babies. I've got a copy, so you know what I got to do. Great copy of Wish You Were Here. Plain black. I just got a copy of this from a friend of mine in the VC, Randy Weaver was kind enough to send me a beautiful green copy of it. But now I've got another one. I may keep this one, play this one, and preserve the other one because it's such a great album. Or I may share this. That's a tough decision when you get something like that. David Bowie, early copy. I don't know if it's original pressing of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, but it's a very clean copy. I can clean it up. It has some fingerprints on it. But I know a young girl who came in today to my booth and asked me, "Do you have any Bowie? Do you have any Pink Floyd?" So maybe those should go in the booth and let some young person buy them. I sell them very inexpensive. I think it's wonderful when you get 15-year-old kids who are into this music. I've got a copy of this already, but here's a copy of Bark by Jefferson Airplane. Still has the grocery bag that came with it, so that kind of makes it extra cool. You very rarely see these out in the wild. And some of you out there probably already have it and say, no, I've got one, which is cool, but I just don't see a lot of them with the bag on it. This album, Brain Salad Surgery. I haven't even checked out the album to see what the shape is. It looks pretty good. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Brain Salad Surgery. Got to get a sleeve for it, but I have it on CD, so I'm really happy to have this. This is going in my collection for real. Great album. Ram. Now, I'm not a huge McCartney fan outside of the Beatles, even though I've seen him in concert twice, and he probably put on the best show I've ever seen. But I've heard people say this is not his best album. Anyway, Ram. by Paul McCartney. Probably go in my booth, to be honest. Iron Butterfly. Now everybody has seen this album. Most people have it or have had it. But this is a very clean copy. There's a few minor scratches on it. I don't know if you could tell, but I was really surprised because usually when you get this album, it's just beat to heck, man. It's just a worn out copy. Iron Butterfly. Everybody knows the song in A God in a Vida. Led Zepplin 3. I've got it already. I'm real happy to have another copy. And the price tag on here, check that out, man, was $1.69. I don't know where this cat bought his albums at, but he bought them at a really, really cheap price. This is nice and clean. Led Zeppelin, Zoso, or 4, whatever you want to call it. Decent shape. And again, got a copy, of course. So that probably go to the booth. Fead. A lot of people may not, I mean, everyone's heard of Fead, but I don't hear a lot of people talk about this band. And they are a wonderful jam band. Lloyd George, the lead singer, died in 1979, and they came back in the early 80s and reformed. There's a very clean copy. Little scratch there. Very clean copy of this album. Sailing Shoes by Fead, and that's definitely going in my collection. This is a horribly beat up copy of the Allman Brothers. Eat a Peach. Steve at Value Vinyl would have a heyday with this one. Cleaning it up. This is just... But it came in the bin. And all albums, all vinyl lives matter, according to Steve, and he's correct. He's definitely correct. So I'll probably clean that one up and try to do something with it. Led Zeppelin, Into the Outdoor. The cover's in rough shape. The vinyl is not bad. It's like hit or miss with this collection. Either they're really bad or they're really decent shape. Rick Derringer. Rick Derringer, great American guitarist. Rock and Roll Hoochie Coos on this one. Very fine album. Joe Walsh, I own it. I've got probably all of his studio albums. I mean, there's some bootlegs out there I haven't got. But this is a really decent album by him. It's called But Seriously Folks. Let's see some of the songs on here. Life's Been Good to Me So Far was the big hit off this. Joe Walsh, very, very good guitar player. One of my favorite American musicians. Miss Janis Joplin. Album is in very rough shape. You can see it's torn. The album has some scuff marks, fingerprints. I'm going to do my best to clean this up, fix the album cover. There's a way you could do it instead of putting tape on it. I saw someone take index cards and you fold the index card. And of course you take the album out and you stick them in there and you kind of glue them to the inside so it doesn't have that nasty tape. One of the YouTubers, if it was you watching, share with us how to do that. But anyway, they used index cards. Chuck Berry. The London Chuck Berry Sessions. This looks very, very interesting. Who doesn't like Chuck Berry? Has Reelin' and a Rockin', My Ding-a-Lang, Johnny Be Good, I Love You, Londonderry Blues, Let's Boogie, Mean Old World. So I can't wait to spin this one. And it appears to be in really fine shape. So I'm going to enjoy that for some time to come. Life and Times of Jim Croce, the late Jim Croce. God, what a talented man he was. I own this album. Don't hear a lot of people talk about Jim Croce in the vinyl community. And he was phenomenal, man. Time in a Bottle. Just great, great music to mellow out to. Wishbone Ash. Never really got into these guys. But I'm going to, again, see the split album. But I've got time. I'm going to listen to all these albums and just really enjoy them and decide what to do with them. Black Sabbath, again, the cover's horrid, man. I made it worse. It's been ripped. It's got some scratch marks and scuff marks. The iconic first album by Black Sabbath. It's one of my favorite albums by these cats. And that could be fixed up, it could be cleaned up and enjoyed. Neil Young, Southern Man. Good old Neil Young. This and Harvest were my two favorite albums by him. And yeah, they're the two most commercial albums. So I guess I'm just trendy that way. But I love, actually this is called After the Gold Rush. But Southern Man is on it. But those two albums, his most commercially successful, are my two favorite. Bad Company, the Bad Co album. Gatefold, picture of the lads. Again, the album split. Album's rough shape, bro. I hate to say it. I really can't complain about the price on these. One of my family members brought them home and said, I'd let you pick 4 or 5 out if you help me with the, excuse me, like I said, it's been a long day, so I got nothing really in these albums. So Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. The Who, It's Hard. I remember having this album when I was younger. I'm trying to think of that one song that was on here. I remember you got a snake the size of a sewer pipe in your rib cage. The Who. And this was after Keith Moon had passed. This was sometime after Keith Moon, and they had the replacement drummer. John Lennon, Yoko Ono. And this album I checked out is in good shape. And this was the last album, of course, John Lennon made before that bastard David Chapman shot him down in cold blood. Oh my God, it makes me want to cuss. Paul Simon's still crazy after all these years. Gotta like Paul Simon, man. And the album's in decent shape. Grand Funk Railroad. The Gatefold. I was a wee bit disappointed when I opened this one up. I was hoping for that nice gold record, but it was on basic black, which is cool. You can see. And it's in good shape, guys. But some of them came with a gold record. That was kind of neat. More Grand Funk Railroad. Jefferson Starship. Spitfire. And here's some cool ones that I'm really leaning on keeping. Weather Report. I haven't heard this one, but I dig them. This is Black Market. Black Sabbath. Now, it says it was $2.10. So where did these guys buy these albums, man? And it's actually not in bad shape at all. And I do not have this on album. I have the cassette of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. So, in this I've been wanting Rush, their debut album. I don't know if anyone else is like me. Do you all have a list of albums that you really want? but something else comes out and you get that instead. It's like it's your bottom half, you know. It's the second string albums. And you're planning on getting them. I'm going to buy them this year, and you just never seem to do it because there's too much. Oh, excuse me again. There's too much cool stuff coming out, so it always gets pushed back. So I'm glad I got that one. Like I said, man, it's been a long day. A long, long day. A couple Bob Dylan albums. I'm trying to fill in my Bob Dylan collection. And these are both great albums. A Hard Rain. It says $1.99 on it. And these have been in storage. It needs to be cleaned. Seriously cleaned. These have been in storage a long time in a shed. So, bring it all back home. I may have this one. That's what Discogs is for, I guess. When you're too lazy to get up and dig through your albums. Pink Floyd. Obscured by Clouds. This is one that I was interested in. But again, and that ain't bad. I could clean that Billy up. I just never pulled the trigger because there's so many other albums out there that I wanted. Or, you know, maybe a new one comes out. Again, The Grateful Dead. And like I said, I got that one earmarked for somebody. And the rest of them are very different mixture of albums. But there are a couple cool things. Got some rods stored in here. America, Bachner Turner Overdrive, Don Fogelberg, Jackson Browne. But there's a couple things in here that I thought were kind of interesting. And I don't know anything about it. I'm going to have to Google it. Or maybe if you do, you could leave them in the comments below. And I would appreciate that. This one obviously is for a radio station because it gives the local commercial breaks and everything. And it's the Rossington Collins Band in concert. Live in concert. And it tells you what times to break for the commercials. But there was a John Lennon. There was a John Lennon album in here. That was a radio promo. And it looked pretty interesting. If I could find it. I guess I should be more organized. And this is it, guys. I found it, man. It's in bad shape. The John Lennon story on the BBC. But that very well could be cleaned up. And it comes with a little booklet that tells you at what time to pause the record or to stop the record and for the commercial breaks. And there's like a Yes album in here that's BBC Live, and it has the commercial breaks in it. So, some neat stuff, man. Some very, very cool stuff. So anyway, that's my little find for today. Been a good one, man. The last day or two. Working tomorrow. Got an antique festival going on in downtown Clinton. If you're around the east, if you're around Clinton, which you're probably not if you're watching this video. Antique festival tomorrow, all day long. So hopefully I sell some albums and make some money. Guys, I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope everything's good for you. And I'm going to go back through these in another video and get more into it. Some of these radio promos. Because there's like Yes in here. And, there's a George Thorogood in here with a bunch of different people on it. Anyway, peace. I hope y'all are doing good. May God bless us all, right?